and I'm going to finish with this, but it's been quite an important story for me. Years and years ago, dear old Bishop Stephen Neal asked me if I would update his book on the interpretation of the New Testament, 1860, what was it, 1861 to 1961, and I was to bring it 25 years up to date in 1986. Stephen died before we'd finished it, and I had assembled material. He was going to write it up, but then he died and didn't, and so the publishers said, would I write it up? So greatly daring, I tried in as good a Stephen Nealish style as I could to write a new last chapter. But I left the last 3 pages intact, because Stephen had expounded this next bit. And those of you who know Stephen Neal, you know that he was probably the most brilliant scholar of his generation, scholar of Trinity College, Cambridge, prize winner. In the early 1920s, he had the world at his feet. He was the sort of person of whom people said that there was no job in church or state that would be barred to him. So what did he do? He went off to India as a missionary and sat on the floor with the Hindu teachers and read their scriptures and they read his, taught in primary schools, did all the stuff, became a preacher, teacher, wandering evangelist, you name it. And at the age of, I don't know, late 30s or something like that, was asked to be the bishop. And he was the bishop. And then there was a terrible breakdown. And the details are still not entirely clear, but he came back to England in his mid-40s, still this brilliant, brilliant man. And William Temple had more or less said to him, okay, sort yourself out, come back to England, we'll give you a rest, and then there will be a job waiting for you. And he was still in his mid-40s, could easily have been a diocesan bishop in England, could have been almost anything. Then Temple died. Geoffrey Fisher, it seems, simply didn't trust Stephen. And Stephen spent the next 30, 40 years going from one job to another, being an amazing episcopus vagans, watching people of considerably lesser ability get the flashy top jobs, but being himself a greatly loved pastor and teacher. And he finished the book with this bit. When Peter saw the other disciple, he said to Jesus, Lord, what about him? And Jesus said to him, if it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? You follow me. The humility of knowing that our sufficiency is not in ourselves. It is in the Lord, and the Lord who calls us, and the Lord who by his Spirit enables us. We just have 10 minutes before coffee. I'm going to suggest that we do what we did yesterday and just buzz very briefly and then take quick questions. I am doing these seminars this afternoon, and there will be plenty of time in there for you to nobble me about particular things you want to ask, but I just wanted to give you a few minutes now to raise any questions. So quickly buzz amongst yourselves, and then I'll call you to order in just a moment.